Traditional publishing and self-publishing. I'm sure you've all heard of those two models. Nothing against either model, but I'm going to tell you they're limited. They are limited. Why? Because with the traditional publishing, they own all your intellectual property. That means you write your book, you sign a contract, they now own it. If you want to buy it back, you have to buy it back. Guess who bought back their own book? You ready for this? I had a buyback day job to dream job because I sold it to a traditional publisher, Baker Books, nothing wrong with them, nice people, but I had to buy it back so that I could publish it with Author Academy Elite. Do you catch that? I'm not just here teaching you something. I'm saying I did it wrong. I'm saying I got traditionally published 6 times and then realized, why am I doing all the work and they get all the money? And they're not helping me with marketing. And then I realized this model. And so that's why I'm passionate about this. I believe it. I've changed my own author career just so I can do this. Self-publishing, you own it. That sounds cool, but hold on. We're going to see some flaws here in a moment. Time to market, 18 to 24 months. By the way, today, because of COVID, many of my author friends who are still getting traditionally published just got their book canceled or delayed. Did you catch that? In other words, they put all their chips on the traditional publisher. Their book was supposed to come out in the fall, and the traditional publisher says, nope, we're not doing it now. Or we're delaying 6 months or a year. Why? Because people aren't in physical bookstores. Wow. Could you imagine that? That is a bummer. Self-publishing, 2 to 12 months. Royalties in advance. Remember, I told you it's the average advance is $500 to $5,000. Hillary Clinton gets more. We don't, right? She gets millions. Many people get, $250. So the average is 500 to 5,000. The average royalty is 10 to 15% on net after you pay back the full advance. And by the way, your books don't count for the advance. Isn't that crazy? Royalties for self-publishing, 70% on an ebook. Royalties are 40%. Design, print, and edit. Traditional publisher covers everything. The editing, the interior design, but they control everything. That means, hey, we don't want your title. We don't want your cover. We don't want that paragraph. It's your book, but they now own it and they decide what goes in and what goes out. And that's why a lot of people like Amy and Catherine and other people say, I want control, Carrie. I want control. But here's the problem. Most people don't know how to do it. It's like building your own house. I don't want to build my own house ever. I want to pay someone who knows how to do it. Self-publishing is not the answer because you need to make all the decisions on, is your barcode correct? Is your wholesale discount correct? Is your ISBN, barcodes, Library of Congress, pricing, subtitle, title, interior design, all time of launch to market? What if you quote song lyrics too much? Do you get sued? What if you write and you include someone's story like an ex? Can they come back after you? Folks, self-publishing is you assuming all those things. That's why people come to us and say, we don't want to make all these important decisions. Help us. This is what we do. All right, bookstore distribution, full bookstore distribution around the world. Self-publishing, Self-publishing, many times you try to get your book into bookstores. Nope, non-returnable. Coaching and education, none. Self-publishing, limited. Publishing fee, none. Supposedly with traditional publishing, but your agent gets 15%. Did you catch that? Your agent gets 15% for life. The publisher gets 85%. You're splitting your portion with the agent. So it gets sliced more and more and more. And then you have to buy your books at usually 3 times the cost with your author discount. Nothing bad against traditional publishing, but it's not right for 99.9% of people. Self-publishing, I just showed you a slide in the very beginning, up to $100,000. Okay, you can spend up to $100,000 with self-publishing. Author book discount, as I mentioned, self-publishing at print cost, traditional 50% off to 60% off. Many times you need to sign for 5,000 copies for a traditional publisher. Self-publishing, 0. Time commitment, 2 to 3 years. Self-publishing, a year. Marketing support, minimal. Self-publishing, none. Let me say that again. None. Imagine you saying, great, now I got a book. Now what do I do with it? I don't know. We're not going to help you. That's not cool. KDP is not going to help you. Okay, a lot of these places are not going to help you get your book out there. They're not going to help you with newsjacking. They're not going to be there to help you along the way. Why? Because they got your money. And now they don't care about how it does. Speaking gigs, none. Book forward, none. You got to go get it. I had to go get my book forwards from Mark Sanborn and others. Writing career potential, 1 book until it's proven. Self-publishing, 1 book only. This is huge, folks. Don't miss this. Follow up products and services. Traditional publishers says no. Traditional publishers don't care. They are book printers. If you want a book printed, go to Kinko's photocopier. Okay. Book publishers today, they don't have time or expertise to help you with 18 streams of income. Self-publishing, you're on your own. Entrance process, you got to write a proposal. Then you got to find an agent. Then the agent has to decide if they're going to take you on. Then they get 15%. Then you have to get pitched to a pub board. Then you have to get accepted. Then a contract is written. Then the lawyer has to look it over. I mean, I've done this 6 times, folks. You can Google me. I'm telling you, I used to think it was the Holy Grail. It's not the Holy Grail anymore. In fact, it often delays and takes a ton of time and attention away. Anyone can pay to play, but that's the problem. Just like YouTube, anybody can put a book on, anybody can put a video on YouTube, anybody can put a book out there. And that's part of the problem, quality control. This book represents you. It's your brand. Here's where I was with my career. Book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6, all traditionally published. And people began to come to me and say, how are you doing this, Carrie? How are you writing a book and turning it into 18 streams of income? And honestly, I wasn't aware, meaning I just said, it's complicated. It's a long story. It takes too much to explain. And I didn't have the awareness to know that I could really help people out, because we all start with self-limiting beliefs. And I just thought, oh, they're just being nice. They're just asking me for help. They're just being nice. That's what we usually say, until people started writing me big checks. And they said, Carrie, can you help me launch my book? Can you help me write my book? So I literally did ghostwriting. I did agent work. I did marketing. And I even had to sign non-disclosure agreements. I can't even tell you who some of the people are that I worked with, because it's a legal agreement. After I did a bunch of these, I said, I don't like that. I said, I want to help everyday people. I want to help people that just need their book out there, who want to change the world. So I began to look and I say, well, what's out there? And I looked at KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. I said, no way, man. You can never get into a bookstore. You can never do pre-sales. You can never get hardcover, all those things, right? So I said, you know what? I can't direct people to traditional publishing because, number one, barely anybody can get in, especially now with COVID. They've pulled way back, but they lose control, they lose profits. And then with self-publishing, I said, you know what? They lose expertise and they lose opportunity. And I said, I don't like either of these models. I said, there's got to be a right way. So this is back when I had a little bit of hair here, and my clients came to me and said, how are you doing this? And I said, okay, I'm going to give you a third way. So I literally got them on the phone. This is March 2014. This is a true story, March 2014. And I said, listen, none of this is built, but if it were built, here's how I would do it. And I said, okay, so here's the third way. You ready for this? I said, number one, you get to keep your book, all the intellectual property. Number two, we get your book out fast, 2 to 12 months. Number three, you keep all the royalties. We wouldn't keep a dime. We wouldn't keep a dime ever. In other words, you get all the royalties 100%. Okay, if Amazon takes their little slice, that's fine. That's up to Amazon, but we don't get any. Design, print, edit, we do it all. Interior design, cover design, ISBN, barcodes. you name it. We coach you, we consult with you every day of the week. Did you hear that, folks? Every single day of the week, you can talk to our coaches. Again, this wasn't happening in 2014. This was imaginary. And I told people, this isn't real. This is what I would do. I said, we get your book in 5 versions. Audio, if you read it, ebook, hardcover, softcover, EPUB, so you can get in iBooks and Apple and all that, Nook. 18 months of coaching, lifetime access. You get in and you can do all your books forever with us. Publishing fee, none. Author book discount at print cost. We don't upcharge. You get your books at print cost. How many do you need to say you're going to buy? 50,000? Nope, 0. In other words, you don't have to put any up front. Time commitment, we give you up to 18 months. Do as many books as you want in 18 months, and after that, you can stay on for life. Marketing support every single day, 5 days a week. I teach you literally, my team and I, how to get your book into other streams of income, how to do a webinar, how to do a keynote, how to do a course. Speaking gigs, we actually hand you the microphone and you speak at our conference. Every author gets to speak for a little bit about their book. We have a red carpet session. There's a photographer. Book forward, I help you get one. Lifetime access, coaching calls and videos. 52 missions that are all broken down into simple steps. Simple steps like how to pick the right title, how to get endorsements, how to write your back cover copy. 1-page application, 1-time tuition, or you can spread it out, 18 months. And what happened? Author Academy Elite. Now, folks, this is March 2014, and I said none of this is built. And guess what? Guess what? We did it. We did it. And here's the 6 steps. You ready for this? Check it out. Write it down. And at the very end, if you say, Carrie, what am I thinking? This is totally me. We'll talk about it. Again, nobody's buying anything today. All right. Here's the 6 modules. The when module. We broke down how to write, publish, and market your book into 52 mini missions. It's awesome. Like I said, how to do a book trailer, how to choose a title, how to choose a subtitle, how to get an endorsement, how to do a launch party. Everything that I do for all my books, there it is. You can stop it. You can pause it. You can even hop on a coaching call and then ask questions and say, hey, what about mine? Every Monday's Mission Monday. And we have thousands of people in this group, and literally they're helping each other and they celebrate each other. They post wins. There's accountability. You're not writing alone. One of the toughest parts is to write alone. You're not writing alone. You're connected to thousands of people all over the world. The why module. Why? Because if you don't understand your why, you're going to quit. So we misspelled this word on purpose. Mindfield, M-I-N-D field. Why? Because people need to get mentally strong, and we help you in the very beginning overcome the 2 most common obstacles. I am not enough and I don't have enough. The where module. This is my friend who asked the question, how do you know if your writing is good? I think it was Felicity. How do you know? You do what's called the blueprint. Nobody builds a house without a blueprint. Nobody should write a book without a proposal. We literally help you write the proposal. Our editor team checks it out. We tell you before you start writing or after. Some people come to us after and say, I did it wrong. Can you help me republish the right way? No problem. The who module. Who's your target audience? Who's your launch party? All these things. We help you build your team. The what module. How do you get in with the right book, fiction, nonfiction, section breaks, chapter 1, editorial review, ancillary materials. What does that mean? That means at the back of the book, you need something called back ads. Back ads lead to your next call to action. It's so important. It actually says, here's your next steps, even with fiction. So you don't let your reader guess. You tell them, here's your next step. Absolutely. And then you can sell other products and services to them, forwards, you name it. And then the how module, my favorite. You don't build a platform. You don't buy it, you borrow it. And that's what we teach you to do, how to borrow other people's platforms. Sure, we'll teach you how to build it as well. But this is our children's author. Some of you said, how does this work with children's author? Anita McLaurin, award-winning author, African-American author, wrote a book that said, my father said I could, not couldn't. The father believes in his kids. She's lighting it up. She won an Author Academy Award. She's fantastic. She's now doing coaching for the kids and parents. How cool is that? Again, here's another author. Boom, there's Rachel Hollis, Amazon Hot New Releases. We got her in hardcover, soft cover, ebook, all on the first page. How cool is that? Here's that author I was telling you about with the bugs. See? Look at her, lighting it up, doing school talks, real estate agents. Here's someone who said, Carrie, I want to get on Megan Good's Instagram with 3.7 million followers. How do I do that? Her name is Dahlia. I said, Dahlia, we'll get you to do it. Here's how you do it. There she is on Megan Good's Instagram. And here's Dahlia. Fantastic. Amazing. Again, I love to help people do this. So this is the right way. I shared in the beginning, what's the wrong way? There's tons of wrong ways for most people. Traditional publishing, self-publishing, KDP, all these things that are not going to set you up for success. The right way is Author Academy Elite. We've been doing this for the last 6 years. We've had over 1,000 authors. You might say, well, what about results? Well, here's a guy named Skip who I helped him with marketing, and he got quite successful. He's a fantastic writer. And here I am launching his book right at my bookshelf. And sure enough, we did this a few years ago, and he said Carrie's launch party was one of the elements that helped the Book of Mistakes start with a bang. He's among the best in his craft. So again, folks, I love helping people. This is the model I wish I had when I first started. Now I publish all my own books through this.